Welcome back to the Mutually Assured Destruction podcast. I'm Josh.
And I'm Sharif.
Welcome back to our first in-person, our Zoom call episode. It's our face reveal.
Wait, where are you?
I'm in Michigan.
Why are you in Michigan?
Where are you?
I'm in Boston. We're supposed to meet in Boston. Where are you?
Were we supposed to meet in person?
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
That's it. I'm coming over right now.
I mean, that's gonna be like, what, 10 hours? Sharif, what are you doing? Where are you going? We have to record. Oh. Just start it.
This is gonna be so confusing. It's gonna be so confusing on the bat.
You want to do the intro?
Yeah, I'll do the intro.
Do the intro.
How about you do the intro?
Yeah, you do the intro.
We're in the intro right now.
The intro.
This is it.
Do you hear the music?
We're in the
intro.
Hey, welcome to the Mutually Assured Destruction podcast. We're in the intro. I'm Sharif.
I'm not Sharif still.
We did it.
We made it.
Episode 10, the 11th episode.
Mom, we did it.
Mom, we did it. She's upstairs, you can tell. We're in Josh's lovely
If you couldn't
childhood
tell,
basement.
We're in my basement based on all the various cultural babies in the background. Actually, most of them are white.
Who made that? And why are there why is there a little... Are those Wizard of Oz characters?
Where?
What's she? What's she supposed to be?
I think it's just a scarecrow. I don't know.
What? Why is there a
They're a
scarecrow?
clown? They're clowns.
This fascinates me. This fascinates me entirely.
I think used to give me nightmares. As
Almost
a kid.
like, did it really?
Yes.
I can see it.
It's fucking weird.
I feel like these babies especially are being like processed to be eaten. Like, there's no other reason they're weighing them against.
It's like the only time you weigh a baby is when they're a newborn, and these are not newborns.
Those are newborns.
Those are not newborns.
They're ugly as newborns, but I hate babies. This one irony, dude. One irony that we have a counting of babies. This is a counting of all the babies I've murdered so far. Look into each one of their faces. I did that.
Speaking about references to previous episodes.
Oh, the squishies.
The squishies.
I finally get to see them in person.
Yeah, I forgot. This is your first time back in Michigan since you left.
Since we started the podcast.
Yeah. And now I'm moving to Arizona.
Now you're moving to Arizona. Speaking of things that fascinate me, this fucking lady.
Look at the camera, you
I'd
idiot.
rather not. It's just, why would I? We're not news broadcasters. We're not just going to stare at the camera.
I don't know. I picked up a thing or two from Tucker Carlson.
This lady. We're going there already.
You stare into the camera, spew white supremacist bullshit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. How this?
All right, we're gonna do a hard cut, and that's never going in.
No, that's
that
staying.
Like grazed your eye.
No, I didn't feel it. It did not hit me.
We need an instant playback. I'm not gonna edit an instant playback. That's too much. Speaking of things,
no instant playback. You have to do like the football thing, or like when you're watching sports, you're like circling it.
I'm
in.
just
like...
tracking like the motion of a line. We get to slow down. The lady on the plane. I told you a little bit about this lady. What a mess of a person. What a mess. I mean, I kind of want her to like co-host the podcast with us just because of what a weird person she was. First of all, we're going to start. She gets on the mask.
The mask?
Gets on the plane. Mask, wearing it like a chin strap. Not over her nose.
Just down here?
Not over her nose, not over her mouth, like a chin strap. Throughout the flight, attendants asked her to like fix it like 4 times, and every time she's like, "Oh yeah, of course." She'd put it up. She'd forget immediately that someone asked her, and then she'd like immediately pull it down to talk to people. Like the minute she's like,
you don't even pull it down to talk to people.
Yeah, we should.
Have you seen those people in public where they have a mask on and they go to sneeze? They pull their mask down, sneeze.
That's literally what she was doing.
I'm like, what's the point of the mask?
That's literally what she was doing. So. And already you can tell she's stupid. There's something wrong with her off the bat. Like there's something wrong if you can't figure out masks like a year and a half into the pandemic. There's something wrong with you on like a core level. You could just tell by looking at her. Mid-30s, blonde lady, immediately starts off by on the first thing she does when the plane takes off is she opens a bag of Ruffles. The stinkiest, smelliest
cheddar cheese Ruffles.
Are there other flavors of Ruffles?
Yeah, there are, I think. Yeah, Ruffles is the brand.
When have you ever seen a different flavor of Ruffles?
The sour cream and onion, isn't that a thing?
Ruffles?
Yeah.
might be missing out here. I bet you Ruffles sour cream and onion would be really good.
I'm 90% sure that's a thing, and it is great.
When was the last time you had them?
I don't eat chips often. Last time I
Sorry.
had chips was in your car on the way to Boston when I had cheddar cheese Ruffles, and your own car smelled like cheese and feet.
Yeah, imagine that with the whole cabin. Like, I'm fasting. I haven't had anything in hours. This is like my first introduction to food in forever. So like, it's just the nasty smell of musty, crunchy Ruffles. And she's like, it's still Corona. She's going around offering people around her some chips. She doesn't know any of them. I figured that out throughout the flight, but the poor guy next to her, I'm witnessing all this from like 2 seats back. And I'm just fascinated the entire time. She's making some moves normal people would never make. It's extreme. So off the bat, I hate her with all my guts. I wish she was a baby so I could.
I'm pretty sure it would be less illegal if she wasn't a baby if you beat her up.
Either way. So the thing about it is against babies. If she was a baby, it'd be like I would on site. but she after she has her snack, she immediately in her 30s. So she's someone you would assume is like smartphone proficient. But I assume like when she was in her early 20s, like phone games were like the new hot thing, and like that was the thing like she showed all her friends. So of course on the in-flight entertainment center, she sees the game section. She's like, well, come on, it's no deal. I gotta go for that. Immediately starts off. She plays a maze game. Was it a maze game that was first?
No, bingo.
Bingo. She's playing bingo. She's playing virtual bingo. Do you understand what virtual bingo is?
It's single player virtual bingo, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a random number simulator. Like you don't. She
doesn't even do anything.
No, it's a computer, so it fills in the bingo pieces as they're being called out.
So she's just sitting there watching it.
There was like a crappy like 90s like GTA model who was like pulling the bingo numbers like in 3 frames a second or 3 frames a minute, and like every time a number would come up, it would fill in something else on her bingo card, and that's it. That was the whole game. She just sat there waiting to see how long it would take to get a bingo, and I was like, who made this game? Because first of all they did was take a random number generator and put wait commands in between. Because if she wanted to, she could have spent through that whole game of bingo and got right to the end. So immediately I'm like, I hated her at first, but now I'm just curious. I want to see what moves this lady makes. So,
like, how long did she play that for?
How
long did she watch it for?
She watched it.
She didn't play.
She lost because she never got a bingo. She lost at like a game you can't lose at, and this continued her streak.
How do you lose a random number generator?
She lost at a random. It gets worse. She loses at multiple things throughout the flight. This flight's only an hour and a half. I don't touch my phone except to report to people, and I don't use the in-flight entertainment because I'm watching her. Like the entirety of my hour and a half flight from Boston to Detroit, I just want to see what this lady's doing.
I'm just imagining the flight attendant comes up, sir, do you want like any food or drinks? Like, no.
Get out of the way.
You're my way.
You're blocking my view. But so this lady, crazy moves off the bat immediately. So I'm hooked now. I gotta see what she plays next. 20 minutes in, she gets bored of waiting for her bingo. Like more than usual of her card is filled in. That she didn't get to choose, by the way. It's just a randomly generated bingo card.
Yeah.
Most of it's filled in at this point. She still doesn't have a bingo. Like if she waited 5 more minutes, she would have had something. Game ends. It's over. She quits out. Next thing she goes to is tic-tac-toe.
I think you say TikTok.
No. God, I don't think she knows what TikTok is.
She'd probably find a way to lose that too.
Probably. Immediately goes to a game that's like, okay. I think she can think on like a 3x3 basis. I think her mind can work around this. Dave is coming. This should be interesting.
I know.
I think immediately that she can make this work. But we get there and hey, oh no, come on in. We're recording something, but we can pause it.
Okay.
Is that an issue?
Welcome back.
Oh, thanks. We're keeping all that in.
We're not cutting it.
We're
not cutting
it all
that.
in.
That was my sister.
Yeah. She should have came on. This would have been fun.
She had the dog and she didn't bark at you.
Molly didn't try to murder me.
All right. So Sharif has been coming to my house for about 5 years now,
About 5 years.
and my dog still hates him.
She thinks she can take me on.
He's the only person. You're the only person she hates.
Yeah,
Hates that much.
She hates people, but I feel like she gets over them.
Yeah.
She's like,
But you're the one person, like, other than Sarah, that's been to my house more than enough times for her to be like, okay, I know you.
yeah. Maybe she's just protective of you. She doesn't like people who are around you too
She
much.
knows you're going to be the death of me.
Was she okay with Caroline?
Yeah.
It's because she knew that Caroline was no thret. she knew. She's like this'll pass.
She can't do anything.
Yeah, she's like this'll pass. For me, she's like he might be here a while. I gotta step in. She's like this. She's baby size. I could take her easily. She's
this size.
She's that size. She probably weighs that much too. All these babies.
No, she weighs
weigh
like
the same.
12 pounds, I think.
Okay, she's tiny. I could
Dude, she's this big. If you couldn't,
yeah,
I'd be concerned.
Yeah, I can make some distance on her, but
dude, shock put.
Molly put, yeah, pretty much. She tries to fight me regardless. I did. All right, our recording's still going. I was sitting here, I'm like, did I ever push record? You get to see the ADHD in person.
There's no cutting.
Okay, we're just gonna continue. Molly, one day I'm gonna square up on Molly, and she's not gonna see it coming. She'll be like, I wasn't prepared for this day.
She's gonna turn around the corner. You're just gonna be squirted to death.
Yeah,
and she's gonna fucking die.
Yeah. Tic-tac-toe. This lady, I was trying to remember where I was at. I'm like, she can do this. This is real easy logic. It's 3x3. You can like kind of make predictive moves.
Yeah.
Every move was wrong. Like the computer that she was facing had like a X on the top and X on the bottom. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, she's clearly going to go for the middle. She's hitting like a corner. Like she's planning out how she's going to get a tic-tac-toe without like considering what the computer's doing. And I think that was her main logic the entire time. She was just trying to do her thing irregardless of the computer. And it was a thing of like when the computer get in her way, she seemed stumped. She was like, well, what do I do now? It's like you try another strategy. Lost maybe like 10 games of tic-tac-toe. 10 games to a computer. Didn't win once.
Could you choose the difficulty on it? Do you know?
I don't know. I think it was just a set computer. I don't think it was that hard. It was in-flight entertainment.
So it's going to be easy.
It wasn't.
It's going to be easy.
It was tic-tac-toe, but with fish and bubbles. So I assume it was
it's
for
a kid's
little
game.
kids.
That's a kid's game.
It was for little kids.
That's a kid's game.
They're not going to throw a level 10 chess master at her. This is a tic-tac-toe bot. It was...
Okay, hold up. Tic-tac-toe and chess are very different.
It was probably... What I'm saying is this is probably 4 lines of code this lady's sparring against. It wasn't like, she wasn't...
Her mental capacity couldn't hold up to 4 lines of code.
She wasn't fighting the Mike Tyson of code. She was fighting...
She was fighting the Jake Paul.
She was fighting the Jake Paul. Well, yeah. She was fighting like a stray raccoon that wandered into like a ring. And somehow she lost. This raccoon was kicking her ass. Like it's not even a real competitor, but she's losing bad. She gets frustrated. Quits out. I'm like, I get it. I see what kind of person. She does this for like 3 more games. She goes straight into a maze game. I'm like, it's a maze. There's no timer. Of course she'll get it. She gets frustrated halfway into the maze, and I'm sitting there. It was
worst case scenario when you're doing a maze, just right, and you get out eventually.
Yeah, no, she was going into the same path multiple times. She kept backtracking into the wrong path. Like it was amazing watching this lady. You think
it was amazing?
I'll kill you. Okay, let's. I'm leaving to Boston again. No. But
wait, we're not in Boston?
We're not in Boston? We'll figure that intro out.
Wait, I thought I was in your closet.
that intro is going to be so weird to edit because we haven't filmed half of it yet.
They don't know that yet.
I don't mean to believe that. If I say something bleep worthy, am I going to have to like bleep over my mouth?
Yeah, can you... If we have to beep our mouths, we have to do that really crappy Photoshop picture of my face but shrunk down.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Can we just add it in here for people to see?
We can do that. Yeah. Look at it in all its glory. It's gonna be so much editing. But Lost in a maze game. Rage quits 20 minutes in. You can see the frustration building. She goes for some more ruffles. And it's like she refreshes the smell. So it's like if I wanted to look away, she brought the focus back. It was like a 3-piece show. Like she had all the elements there. She's keeping me entertained. Then next game she goes into. I think I'm not missing it. This might be the last one before the flight. Like this was the entire flight that she was doing this. The last thing she goes into was like a scramble. It was a game where it was a scrambled word, and it was like some knockoff game.
Oh, she's just unscrambling words.
It's a letter. It's letters. So they give you like 6 letters, and they give you like 3 hints, and you're trying to figure out what the word is.
That's not that hard.
No, and I couldn't. The words for the hints were 3 sentences, so they were kind of small. I couldn't see the hint from where I was at, but the only word it could have been was bless. Think of all the letters in the word bless. What else can you spell with those letters?
Slebs.
Yeah, she tried slebsing it so hard, dude. There's nothing else you can spell those letters, so I can't see the hints, but I'm like, it's obviously bless.
Yeah.
I figured this in like half a minute in because I'm like, oh, bless. She goes and tries every wrong combination, some multiple times. She got selbs. She got bills. She's got like elibus. Like she's not making any sense. She's just typing in letters, trying to figure out what's going on. Immediately, she gets like 5 minutes in this game, can't figure out bless, quits. That's the end of it. The plane's landing. I was like, this is the entire...
It was like, oh shit, we're here already?
It was like, oh, we got 5 minutes left. And she quit and went to in-flight navigation. She somehow lost that as well. like the plane spiraled.
Just crashed.
The plane spiraled out of control the minute she opened in-flight navigation. It was the weirdest thing ever. I don't know. I can't... I was so tempted as I was leaving. Oh, that's the other thing. I never told you because I had to like figure out flight stuff. I never reported this bit. Minute the plane lands, like the plane hasn't even landed. It touches the ground. She unbuckles her seatbelt and runs to the front. And the flight attendant was like, "Ma'am, sit down." And she's like, "It's time to go, isn't it?" And
the plane's still like slowing down and taxiing.
The minute you feel the wheels hit the ground. It was almost like when you pull into a parking lot and that one friend unbuckles a seatbelt. It's like, kind of is reasonable.
I was concerned for a second. You were going to say she started clapping.
No.
But that's interesting at least.
Yeah.
Like, bolting to the front.
She's like,
I'm the first
one off the plane. She was holding on to seats and she was like Spider-Manning her way through.
She's like that kid on the school bus that runs to the front when the bus stops because I want to be the first one off.
Flight attendant yells at her. She's like, "Ma'am, sit down." And she's like, "The plane's that we're here." And she's like, "Not until the seatbelt sign goes off." And she's like, "Fine." So the plane's still slowing down. So she like wobbles her way back into her seat, buckles her seatbelt. The last I see of this lady is the light goes off. She grabs her bag and runs to the front. And they
just wait the 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes from when the plane, taxis to the gate to when the door opens and you can get off.
Yeah, I didn't see her after this. I assumed she just waited at the front of the plane. Like this, it taxied already because the seatbelt sign was off.
Yeah.
So, but there was the last time because like the front row stood up and she was in front of the front row, so I couldn't see her anymore. This is the last I ever saw this lady, and I want her to be a co-host on our podcast so bad.
Dude, she's gonna end up on the news or something like local woman trespasses in airport.
It was insane.
Chases down plane on runway.
It was insane. I've never seen this level of commitment to idiocy. Like she wasn't special. You could tell. Like there's some people if they
she's just stupid.
Yeah,
she's just stupid.
Some people if they have like you can tell like they have weird social cues or whatever. You can just tell that she was out of touch with society. It was so weird, but it killed an hour and a half. So, and I'm so glad I was just outside of her range of like talk to because she tried talking to everyone around her. And people just giving her like quiet, like nods, and mask down. Hey, so do you like this guy? It's like, lady, just leave these people alone.
God, dude,
it was.
I still remember one time when I was going to the Philippines with my cousin after we graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
So our first flight was from Detroit to Japan, and then Japan to the Philippines, and then we had like a 10-hour drive from the airport to my grandpa's house. The first flight, there's this Amish lady on the plane. I'm like, weird. Why are you coming to Japan? Just kind of left it at that.
Were you on that train ride with me where all those Amish people kept getting on?
Yeah. Yeah, no. But hey, so and then we got from Japan, and we're like, okay, never gonna see this lady again. We start walking to our next gate, and she's just following us. We're like, what's going on? And then we sit down at the gate, waiting for our plane to get there, and she sits down like a row across from us. Like, she's going to the Philippines. Like, weird. Like, the Amish people do like mission trips.
I was saying maybe she's, but she's
But she was on her own.
on
There
a
was
plane.
no one else with her.
I don't think Amish people take planes.
They can if they don't have any other choice. Like, they didn't. She obviously didn't for this.
Okay,
But we get to the.
she could take a boat.
We get on the plane. We get to the Philippines next, and then we're walking out of the airport. I'm like, cool, never gonna see her again. I get in the car with my grandpa. We drive like 10 hours to his village, and then like a few hours later, after we get there, the jeepney or like the bus like shows up, and she gets off.
Yes! Amish lady, she followed you all the way to the
Yes.
What was she doing?
I didn't see her after that.
Do you think she's trying to start like a new Amish colony?
Maybe because
What
I
are the
know in
chances-
that village, in
Yeah.
my grandpa's village, when we were there, there were 2 Mormons. They were setting up a church there.
Yeah, that makes
Or, like,
sense. They're
what-
missionaries.
Yeah,
though.
but I remember my cousin. I got there because we just graduated. My grandpa was like, "Oh, well, let's throw like a little party for you guys because you graduated and everything." We're like, okay, cool. So he invited people from like the neighborhood and like
Yeah.
his friends and the 2 Mormons because like they didn't really know anyone there.
Right.
And they walk up to us and they start speaking to us in Tagalog. And at the time, I didn't know it. And I was like, I'm
Whoa.
like, can you speak English? And he like grabbed me. He's like, you speak English? I'm like,
So we're like, oh, you're hurting me.
I'm like, yes. And, oh, thank God.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they were from Utah and Florida.
But
It was fucking weird.
okay, but Amish people, going back to the Amish lady, Amish isn't a religion, it's a lifestyle. Like Amish people are old school Christians.
Yeah.
maybe she was there on the because
But it was just her. There was no other Amish person within probably like 20 miles
I
of our
bet you
village.
she had a quest. I bet you someone gave this lady a quest. Like she was going to retrieve like an old Yule Amish sword or something. Like
Somehow ended up in the Philippines.
what if she was on a mission to like restore technology to her people? like she was the
But
only-
why would she go to like the middle of the mountains in the Philippines?
It's weird. Maybe that's
Dude,
where the Amish
Dude,
originated.
the like the tech shop in our village.
Yeah.
Last time I went there was like 4 years ago. They're just like, dude, we got new technology, flip phones. yeah, this is new.
At what point do you think the distinction between Amish and normal people was made? Like, do you think the cotton gin was made and they're like, enough of that? Like, they're like, I'm gonna stop you right there. We don't do that around these parts.
I think the minute anything that needed electricity or gas, other than like oil lamps.
Oh yeah, so cotton
Yeah.
gin was. But do you think like back in the day, like when
Or no,
mechanical,
steam engines is probably where it started to differentiate.
probably
Yeah.
like things that had like kind of a life of their own.
Yeah.
But do you think?
Because
Like,
I mean, that's kind of like, I feel like with Jason, where he's like, he doesn't trust technology. Like, I don't want to fly anywhere. I don't trust planes, which I find is stupid.
oh, do you think like there were old Amish people back when like everything was mechanical?
And they're just in the Stone Age.
Yeah, they're like we don't appreciate all this mechanical science.
He's like, get your screwdriver out of
Get your
here.
screwdriver out of here. I use this rock that's real pointy and I just twist hard. It's like what do you think the new Amish people are gonna be like? Like in the year like
It's gonna be-
2080?
No, it's going to be people with like Nokia flip phones.
It's gonna
It's
be
hipsters.
It's gonna
It's
be
hipsters.
No, but it's gonna be like some tech that we know about, and people are like, yeah, I don't use magnetic flight. That's just wrong. It's like
I still use gas powered.
I still use gas. Yeah, I keep it old school. I can make fun of this because I'm like kind of Amish. I'm kind of Amish in the way I used to live and like the way my
By blood, you're a quarter Amish.
I'm quarter Amish by blood. Thanks, Grandma.
Is that how that works? Is that how that works?
Yeah, I can roll up to Amish. I'm like, I'm quarter Amish. They'd be like, you don't use computers? And I'm like,
They probably had like in like stone tablets written down like your family name. Like, do not trust these people.
I'm sure they had paper.
No, don't.
They just have stone tablets. I'm sure they have that like
Dude, can we bring that back? Screw typewriters. I want hipsters to bring back stone tablets.
stone tablets.
Dude, imagine turning in like your final paper for college on a stone tablet.
So it's like I'm gonna need a what's it called? A trailer for this for my final essay.
Yeah, like my final project, our report was like 80 pages. Imagine that being on a stone tablet.
Okay, but legit though, stone tablets are like the most future-proofed type of thing you have. Like,
Yeah.
Is there anything we have nowadays that'll outlast like a stone tablet?
The internet.
Do you think I think the internet. I think everything we have now, even on the internet, I think 100 years from now will be lost. Like, do you think there's anything on the internet from like 1990? Like, just maybe it's like
yes, there's absolutely things from 1990.
on that's like the original form document. Like, let's say a website from 1990 that is running right now. How long do you think that website's gonna last? Do you think there's anything that'll make it 100 years?
No, you're probably right.
Because
When are we getting Internet 2.0?
Internet 2? It'll make Internet 1 look like so bad. I found out that what was it, Heaven's Gate, that cult that like killed all themselves in the 90s?
Which
The people
the Jonestown Massacre?
No, that's drinking the Kool-Aid. The people of
It wasn't Kool-Aid.
It's Powerade.
No.
It's Powerade.
No, it wasn't.
What was
it was
it?
off branch. It was
It's Powerade.
No, it wasn't. It was some weird shit
I guarantee.
Flavorade.
Flavorade?
Yeah.
It wasn't even Powerade?
It was purple Flavorade, I think.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like Kool-Aid's the cheapest stuff. You can provide enough Kool-Aid for a
To be
facility.
fair, they did not live, somewhere where they could probably get Kool-Aid.
Yeah, they lived in Brazil.
Yeah, it was in the middle of fucking nowhere.
You can't get Kool-Aid in Brazil. I guess. But the people of the sweatpants and the collectible Nikes. Heavens, I think
Fuck boys?
No, I think it's
Sneakerheads?
No, you don't know about Heaven's Gate? Like
No. The only Heaven's Gate I know is from our D&D campaign with Jesse.
I gotta look this up. We might cut this if this takes a while, but it's Heaven's Keep or Heaven's Gate or something.
I have no idea.
Heaven's Gate. Wow, no hard cut, nothing crazy there. It's not like we have a limited time on the camera and we have to,
Don't we have to clap sync this again now?
Yeah. We'll be back.
Okay, so now I know what Heaven's Gate is.
You have to have heard about it though.
No,
It's the people who they believe that like Jesus was on an asteroid and they had to kill them.
Oh, that was them. Yeah, I didn't know what it was called. Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, I don't know what my original point was now.
Yeah.
Can we go back? What are we talking about?
Wait, didn't they kill themselves with like poison?
They
Like snake's venom or something?
No,
Or was that something a different massacre?
They had applesauce. They poisoned. They poisoned their applesauce.
It was applesauce.
I think they poisoned their applesauce. They had. I think they had poisoned applesauce. What I was originally getting at is there were like 30 people. Like the entire cult was like 30 people, and they all killed themselves except for 2 people that were left behind. And they were left behind just to maintain the website.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, I definitely remember this now.
Yeah. Imagine being like, "Sorry, you can't come to heaven. You got to maintain our website."
Do you think it was just like we'll take a volunteer, or was like you need to stay behind?
I think they were told that they had to.
That sucks. Like if that's your religion, be like you
But that's
don't
the
get to
thing.
go to heaven.
Like part of being the true believers of their religion is like they can't come. It's and. I was watching this interview and they were like, "Well, what if I wanted to join that?" It's like, "None you can do. You gotta wait until it comes back around 2,000 years from now."
I'm just imagining in like the Bible, it's like everyone gets to go to heaven except Todd and Jeremy. You two need to maintain the Christian website.
Exactly, but you two need to maintain Christian mingle. It's like, someone's got to keep it running. It's like, but we're the only people left. What do you think? Todd's a keeper, ain't he? Why are you telling us this?
God.
But no, what I'm saying is they're maintaining the original website right now. So they have the original. It was like a really tech savvy group in like 98.
Yeah.
Because like this was like before websites were a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a website up and running and they're like, well, I know there's none you can do and no one can join the religion past this point until like 2,000 years from now. But stay back and make sure that our website stays paid for. Like, how long do you think that website's going to be up?
It's gonna be up until I guarantee at some point there's gonna be Internet 2.0.
Do you think there's gonna be internet 2.0?
I think so. Maybe not in our lifetime.
I know it's
probably
kind of
not
a
our
hard
lifetime.
thing to try to like theorize because it's tech that doesn't exist
Yeah.
yet. But what do you think it'll be run off?
I don't fucking know.
I
dude.
think it'll hone into whatever network is inside pigeons' heads because pigeons are everywhere and they have like little computers built into them. And not like government like crack theory type thing. Like computers have like magnetic forces in their
Yeah.
head, and they have like
computers have magnetic forces in their head. Pigeons.
pigeons. And like I think
So what you're saying is if I put a magnet down, a pigeon is just gonna.
I think it's other sensors and we're like, slow down there, buddy. But
I fully believe that if I go outside with a magnet, I'm just gonna, a pigeon is gonna come shooting right at me.
you might confuse it. It might not know where home is or something like that.
Wait, like those tiny little like magnetic balls?
Yeah. The oval ones?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take one of those and just like tape it to every pigeon you see.
I think you'd kill the pigeon. I think if you taped a little magnet to a
No,
pigeon's
dude,
head.
I'm saying pigeons aren't real. Those are all government drones. You'd fuck them up.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be tuning into this network for Internet 2.0. I think whatever's running in pigeons' heads, I think legitimately it is gonna be some sort of natural force.
Probably.
Because we're getting pointed to a point where we're like exploiting every part of nature we can.
Speaking about that, have you seen the concept design for this new like cruise liner that is wind powered?
Oh yeah, the sailboat.
Yeah,
You told me about it. It's a sailboat.
It's a fucking
I haven't seen
sailboat.
anything about it. But what you describe, yeah,
They're
it
like
runs
it's
off-
this new technological invention, like wind powered boats are a thing. What?
They probably harvest it way more. Would they be more efficient? I don't think so because you'd lose energy from converting it from wind to electricity.
Yeah.
Like-
I just think it's not really plausible to have a massive, like a mast that big with, a sail the size you need it to be to pull a cruise liner.
I just find it. We're gonna get a little engineer here for a second. I just find it really interesting that the original concept of sailboats is like you use a linear force of nature in order to drive your direction, right? Yeah. I like how this way you're using a centripetal force of a turbine to create electrical power to create a centripetal force somewhere else in the
water.
In the water. You're pretty much just like you're playing a game of telephone with electricity. But it's crazy that you're converting it one way and be like, wait, the original source was good. Write that down. Turn it back.
It's like one of those things you're just like, can I copy your homework? Yeah, just change it so no one knows.
Someone knows. Goes from electrical back to the original.
Good. I don't know how it's going to transition into this. Transportation bikes. There was this weird fucking dude that came into the bike shop the other day.
Hold on. We can make this work. Let's make that transition work.
No, I got it perfect.
No, so
I got it
a
perfect.
centripetal force from a motor.
Wheels, bikes. There we go. Done.
Hold on.
So
You rush into finer details things and I don't appreciate it.
there was this really nice bike in our shop that I want to buy.
Mhm.
It's like it's an entry level like a hardtail mountain bike. I think it's starting like $1,300, but like, with my discount and everything, it'd be
Yeah.
not that bad.
It's crazy that you like since you're a bike guy, that's like what's like a reasonable price for you.
No, dude, we have a full system. No, it's a hardtail carbon fiber. That is like $5,000 just sitting in our shop.
That's
But
crazy.
here's where I'm going with this. So it's still the $1,300 bike.
Yeah.
Is a very nice bike.
Mhm.
And this kid came because bikes right now are a rare commodity. So like people will just buy what they can.
Are they? They're like weights?
Yeah.
I didn't
Dude,
know there was a bike
Bikes
shortage.
are coming in and they're flying out the door before we even build it. But
Wow.
so this kid came in and he just wants something simple for him to like ride around the neighborhood and stuff. And we're like, yeah, we don't have anything right now. And like the only thing that we have that would fit you is like, this mountain bike, but it's not, built for that purpose because it's built specifically for like trail and mountain biking.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'll just buy it. We're like, okay, like why not? Like just do it.
I love a person
But
who
no,
doesn't know what they're talking about. All right, go on.
But here's the thing. I was fine selling him the bike. I'm like, cool, it's a great bike. Take it. It broke my soul because he spent $400 on accessories to turn it into something it wasn't.
He refurbed it?
He wanted us to install like cruiser bike handles. So like the ones that come out and back.
Yeah.
we got
on a mountain bike.
Yeah, and then we got rid of like the normal. Like,
I don't know much about bikes, but I feel like anyone who knows mountain bikes know that you don't have like the
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and then we got rid of like the normal seat on it.
Yeah.
Which I understand those aren't comfortable, but like for mountain biking, you're not really gonna be sitting on it that much. But he installed like one of the biggest, widest, like softest seats we had. Like you're sitting on a couch at that point.
So he wanted like a cruiser.
Yes, he wanted a cruiser, but we didn't have one. So he retrofitted this expensive mountain bike into a cruiser, and I'm sitting there like installing all this stuff. I'm like, I hate it.
They swap out the tires.
He wanted to swap out the tires.
How can
so it's the tires that it comes standard with, so it's a tubeless setup.
Right.
So the rims are
tubeless
built
setup, of course.
The rims are built to not take tubes in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, can I swap it out with like, tires that aren't, have this tread?
It'd be too thin. You need like spacers or something.
Yeah. And like they don't make tubeless tires
for mountain bikes.
No. For cruisers, which is the tire he wanted installed on. Like tubeless is designed for like a mountain biking.
Yeah.
So you can have lower pressure. So you put lower pressure in the tires without risking popping anything when you hit bumps and stuff. So it makes it smoother riding. And he wanted to turn this, carbon fiber frame mountain bike with a very nice front shock on it. It was probably worth a few $100 on its own into this crappy like $200 cruiser.
So he has this thing that's like capable of all this suspension and like
yes.
That's like what we did when we like bought really expensive computers and we played Minecraft.
Exactly.
But like in real like our computers can still run other games.
Not even that. Let's say you spend like $4,000 on a really nice computer.
Yeah.
And you only play RuneScape. That's what this kid did.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Why would it?
I think it's also the equivalent to like Jeeps.
How
like
long
Wranglers, like Wranglers
are
they're designed for like off-roading.
Yeah. Oh, it's like you take the tires off them and you put like racing tires.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then you don't use the 4-wheel drive or anything.
And you only drive it on like, speedways.
Well, people do that with like Range Rovers and Land Rovers. Those are apparently the most phenomenal off-roaders ever, but people just use them as like, look at my Suburban Trophy. It's a nice, slick car.
Yeah.
To be fair, why would they make such a nice car an off-roader?
Yeah.
Like Jeeps.
It doesn't look like it would go off-road because it's so slick.
It looks like a luxury SUV.
Yeah.
With Jeeps, you look at that and you're like, I could beat that thing up.
And
like,
it can't. No.
No, it doesn't do anything.
No.
It's like, it's pretty much a golf cart that they beefed up.
Yeah, it's golf cart with big off-road tires and suspension.
Yeah, Land Rover and Range Rover literally are made for like the roughest terrain. Mm-hmm. Like you can go on like rocky mountainsides and just be fine with those.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing he wanted on his bike, he was like, "Oh, can you guys put a rack on the back so I can put all like my bags and stuff on it?" I can't do that. It literally will not fit on there. It's not meant to have a back rack installed on it. He's like, "Okay, what about a kickstand?" Oh, this just pissed me off so much because like these nice expensive bikes that you take on like trail or racing, you don't put kickstands on it because that's unnecessary weight. And then when you're hitting bumps and stuff, it's gonna like fly and like it might kick out and it gets in the way. And like I told him, like it's literally not designed to have a kickstand installed on it because like the way the frame is shaped and angled, no matter what you do, it's not gonna fit a kickstand. He's like, "There's nothing you can do. Like I can buy like this one and like you just bend it into shape." I'm like, that is steel. We can't bend that here.
I bet you he went home and felt really smart. He was like, he's like, they said they couldn't sell me one. I made one. It's like he's cut to. It's just a Frankenstein monster.
And the thing is, like, we had cruisers coming in a few weeks for like $400 or $500.
I was gonna say
he spent $1,700.
That's the other point I was gonna say. What did he couldn't have just waited, or you guys couldn't have put in like an order in advance?
Yeah, exactly.
Because isn't that how you're selling these bikes off the shelf as people are coming in?
Yeah, they buy it beforehand. When it gets in, they just take it. It was just so stupid.
It's okay because he would have used that money for something worse. So at least
absolutely.
At least this way you're circulating out of his pockets. Like, how old was this guy?
18.
What's he doing with $1,800 bike money?
Guarantee that was his parents' credit card.
Probably was.
Because he was like, "Oh, what's the damage?" And we're like, $1,700. Like, okay. And he just stuck his card in. I'm like, that's not your card.
I bet you he got home and his parents said, "We told you to buy milk." He's like, oh,
You didn't say buy a bike?
my bad, I misheard that. Like, I bet you at home, his parents were like, it's okay. We have a plane flight to get from Boston to Detroit. His mom was just this lady. It's like, that's it. It was her. This is one big dumb family.
This family and transportation does not go well
Yeah, I
together.
want to know what the dad's up to right now. I guarantee you he's a future segment on this podcast. Oh my god. People are dumb. People are just straight up dumb.
That's probably the biggest takeaway I learned from going to college.
Yeah. Boston's nice though. Boston is, it's weird to say because people have this like built up image of what Boston is. Like,
Yeah.
it's like they think it's like short Italian men with like extra amounts of arm hair going around. What are you talking about? And like throwing bagels at each other. And it's a little bit of that. You'll see a little. You'll see a little bit, but it's not.
If you get to the wrong side of town, you're getting a bagel thrown at you.
Yeah, you walk down the wrong alley, you'll catch a bagel to the head. But it's not like all of Boston. Boston's like nice as hell. And like everyone's so friendly. Like I lost my phone on the subway.
Oh yeah.
I lost my phone on the subway. I was it's funny because I was listening to a podcast and I was sitting there and I'm like, oh, the train's here. And I get up and I'm relaxing. And then I'm like, where'd the podcast go? And I look at my headphones and I'm like, it disconnected. And I reach in my pocket and I'm like, oh no! I look back and I could just see my phone as the train's pulling away. I was like, that's the last I'll ever see of that phone. So I was like, fuck.
Honestly, out of all the ways your phone could go, that's still the second best.
Yeah. I could have sent 99 volts to the headphone port. May or may not have happened at some point.
You just blow up your phone trying to make a speaker.
May or may not have happened.
Wasn't there like an audible pop?
It was a pop followed by like a little puff of smoke. Like, I remember you were in the garage working on, I think you were painting canvases. And I was trying to prototype an amplifier IC chip. And so I was building around it like all the resistors and all the capacitors. And I was like, well, this is exactly how it should be. There shouldn't be any electrical issues. Like the right calculated current and everything. I turn it on, this happens. Pop, smoke, and I was like, where did I go? Did I use the wrong?
You just did it
resistor
backwards.
values? And I looked, and the power source, before I turned it off, I had it set to 99 volts. And I was like, that'll do it. And this amplifier is hooked up to the 3.5 millimeter audio jack on my phone. And I was like, that's sending 99 volts through my phone right now, isn't it? So
Like it still is until you hit that off button.
no, yeah, exactly. It took maybe a minute of me figuring this out to be like, oh, my phone's, there's no saving it at this point. But
Yeah.
this was
Wait,
actually the phone I got after that. So,
It's still?
the same phone. I keep phones forever.
I could, if it was up to me, I would just keep the same phone for like, just until it breaks, honestly.
I've had this one for 4
Because
years.
I don't know,
now.
like, my parents will be like, oh, we got you a new phone for Christmas. Like, mine still works.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
the
it's
only
the
reason
background.
I complained about my last phone was because it was an iPhone.
Yeah.
And that thing died after 2 years because Apple's like, fuck you.
Hazard went backwards. She got an iPhone 12, not an iPhone 10, and she's like, I regret it. Like everything, nothing's compatible. It just sucks in general.
See, the one thing I like about iPhones is the UI is really nice, but that's about it. That's it.
UI and the
That's it.
camera. Her
Yeah.
camera looks really crisp. Like it's pretty
Yeah.
HD, but it's not worth the rest of the phone being garbage.
No, it's not worth $12,000 for after 2 years. They're just gonna throttle your phone.
And being stuck in the iPhone ecosystem.
Yeah,
Like everything she has now is switched over to iPhone. It took her like 3 months, but she's finally done it. And I'm like, you can never go back now.
no,
You should have just turned
I'll
around when you
never
had
do
the
that.
shot.
I'll never do that.
Anyways, yeah, same phone. I mean, look at what
Yeah.
my background is. It's it's.
Wait,
this-
am I still the background when you unlock the phone?
Let's take a look.
Can we put that picture up here if it's still there?
I can definitely for sure.
There's a lot of editing in this video for you.
Look at that.
Yeah, there's a lot of editing.
There's a lot
done.
of editing. I'll choose how much of it happens. well, if you don't see something that we promise, it's because I got lazy.
If you're too lazy, can you at least put like a text bubble that says I don't want to do this?
See, do that again. You're holding an explosion.
shit.
Oh, it's gonna be the worst explosion if I can find one. It's gonna be so bad. We'll see. We'll see. We're really going to test my editing capabilities versus how much time I have to edit this and put it out, because it's going to be really last second.
Yeah, we're definitely recording this not last second.
No, of course not.
No, this is months in advance.
We're actually recording it pretty well in advance, but I'm not going to be at my setup, and we're not going to have part of the intro recorded until forever.
No, the intro's recorded.
It's all recorded.
Shut the fuck up. Oh no, I swore. Should we beep that out?
Yeah.
Facing?
Anyways, I see my phone disappearing into the distance, and I'm like, it's been 4 years. I respect you, buddy. Goodbye. And I was like, I can catch a train back. So I get to the station, and usually you just go up a flight of stairs and you go around, and the tracks on the opposite side will take you back.
Yeah.
This one, for whatever reason, the train back was like in a different part of the station. So I had to climb up like 2 flights of stairs. I had to walk a quarter mile. I had to get to a train. I got on the train. It's been like, the train took a while to arrive. It's been 20 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, I don't know Boston. How am I gonna make my way back home without GPS? I was planning things ahead. I'm like, I'm gonna have to find a phone store and buy like a phone like tonight. Like it was like 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, what phone stores are open? I get there, and I'm looking around, and the train station is filled. And I go around. I go to like the bench I'm at, and a guy is sitting there, and I'm like, hey, have you seen a phone? And I was like, no, sorry. And then I was trying. I was like, oh yeah, I have your phone. I was like, wait, what? I was like, why'd you answer no first? I didn't question it. I was just like,
wait, you just somehow sat next to the guy that had your phone.
No, he was sitting where I left my phone.
Oh,
so I came back to the station,
gotcha.
And I was like, do you have my phone? I'm like, have you seen a phone here? And he's like, no. And I started turning. He's like, well, yeah, I do. It's like one of those glad you remembered that.
It's like one of those things where I do it all the time, where I don't register what someone says.
Yeah.
Until they say it again.
It probably
but
is.
I understood what they said. I'm just like, no.
It took just enough time to figure that happened. And he was like, he's like, your phone's dead. I'm just trying to charge it to like, he had like 3 cables in his hand. He's like, I tried an iPhone one. I tried an Android one. I tried another Android one. I'm like, why do you have so many cables? I'm not going to question
He
it.
finds many phones.
Yeah, apparently. But he was like, he was trying to charge it so he could call me. Didn't realize he was trying to like turn it on. Didn't realize the fingerprint is on the back. So he's like, he thought it was dead because he's playing with the volume rocker. And I was like, oh, that's nice that like he legit made an effort to charge my phone and call me.
I hope Phoenix is gonna be like that. I guarantee it's not.
No, it was great. And I tried offering him $20, and he was like, I'm not taking that. And like we had
Boston's nice, so like I want to do my postdoc out in Boston.
It was good. Yeah,
that'd be nice. But like, dude, I'm like Phoenix is a nice area, but I've heard some horrible things about Tempe. Because like when I was looking at apartments, my professor was like, "Do not live in Tempe if you want to get some sleep." I'm like, "Oh."
What do you mean?
All the undergrad students live in Tempe.
Why?
Because that's where the university is.
Okay.
But like even the off-campus housing
is it like just partying?
All partying. Because apparently ASU is the school where all the people that didn't get into UCLA go.
Oh. So it's the
Michigan State equivalent.
I was about to say that. Hi, Amanda.
She doesn't watch this.
Of course she doesn't. She's gonna watch it like 5 years from now, and they're like, "You son of a bitch."
You're gonna get a text 5 years from now. Just, I hate you. It's like, we haven't talked in 5 years.
It's been 10 years coming. I've known her for 10 years now.
I've known her for a year now, and I've seen her more than you probably.
Probably in the last year. Yeah.
I've known the last 5 years. I've seen her more than you. I've known her
10 years. I've had really like a lot of communication with her. I haven't seen her in 6 years. So this is a really weird thing where she's an internet friend now, even though I knew her for the longest time.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's just how it is. Because after high school, everyone just leaves.
No, but most people I either keep up with you or I don't. Like in person.
Yeah.
Like it's never a thing of, I don't really have any friends. I'm like, I haven't seen
you. Don't have friends.
Yeah, that's true. But no, I have friends from high school that I'm like, yeah, we used to talk and we like have small interactions. There's no one I keep up with. Don't put a hole in it. It's only lived so long.
He's lived in safety for too long.
He's lived in safety. He's been in his protective bubble in his container.
They've all just watched me, like this and the 23 others watch me just over the course of a month break down one of them.
I'd like to imagine the bucket opened and they went, "Oh no!" And you pick the one. He's like, "Not me."
Like, did you ever see what was it, Sausage Party?
No, I know what you're talking
It was
about.
such a stupid movie, but imagine it's like that where like to me nothing's happening, but they all have like lives of their own, kind of vibing.
I just imagine that they're like the fish from Finding Nemo. They're all in their protective little bubbles, and they're just like, "What now?" And there's no. These are less squishy than I thought. You make them look a lot squishier than they are.
Yeah, because I crushed them on camera.
I was gonna say, I picked it up. I'm like, oh, it's kind of rubbery. You make them look like they're made of marshmallow.
Yeah, I squished the fuck out of them.
They're not. I leave them alone.
There we go.
That's it. That's my Boston trip. Yeah,
Dude, I am going to Phoenix to go apartment hunting though.
You're going to Phoenix,
Yeah.
right?
Dude, oh, it's so nice.
When are you going?
2 weeks from now. But here's the thing. So I can't remember exactly how much you spend on your apartment in Boston. Actually, like 30 minutes outside of Boston. But for the same price as that, probably.
Yeah.
In Phoenix.
I spent $14.50 on rent for a 700-foot apartment. Prices suck.
Yeah, I could get that in Phoenix for probably like $1,000.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw. I was mad, and those were nice apartments.
Yeah.
Like my apartment borders a good and a bad city. Like I can walk. It's really nice because I can walk to like these nice like Asian shops down the street and like coffee shops. But if I walk the other direction, it's like unless I want to get like a haircut or some liquor,
You're getting a bagel to the head.
Yeah, I'm getting a bagel to the head for sure. But mine is right in the middle. But yours look like they were in nice neighborhoods.
Yeah. I mean, they look nice, but like looking at the reviews, the management was trash at all of them. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine
Well,
was
yeah.
okay.
Hey, do you know why ice cream isn't packaged in boxes? In like perfect boxes?
Is it not?
No, they're not. Like always rounded corners.
Oh yeah, no.
Because then the corners would melt faster than anything else.
Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that'd be good though. Like, why wouldn't you want like a little bit of a melt to your ice cream?
That's what I want. Because I hate it when I go like, do you have your ice cream spoon that's just bent back farther than any other spoon?
You know what? I don't anymore because Dave got me some really solid spoons. To be specific, 24 of them. I live
24 spoons?
including the ones I have now. I live on my own, and I have more spoons than I had when I was like living in my family.
So yeah, one thing I learned recently, because like
Living in my family. That's not the right way of saying that. Okay.
one thing I learned recently, because now I have to buy my own silverware now that I'm moving out,
Yeah.
was that when it says like set of 4
Yeah.
for like when you're looking at silverware, it doesn't mean you have 4 sets of silverware. There's 4 pieces.
Just 4 utensils.
Yeah, so it's like 1 fork, 2 spoons, and a knife or whatever.
That seems disingenuous.
Yeah, so like one of
Was
my
that the
friends,
alarm?
and that makes sense now.
Yeah.
That was the alarm?
I think so. Hey, the camera's about to run out of footage. We can do it again. We're gonna make a third segment. We did it. It's gonna cut off mid-story. Just talking to myself.
it started
He started it again, and it's the same sentence, but it's picked up somewhere else.
I don't know how you're going to edit that, but we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll
But-
run it.
Wow, where was I going with this?
Ice cream.
No.
spoons.
So the set, one of my friends, now it made sense because he was confused too the first time when he moved into his own apartment.
Yeah.
And he sent me a video. He was like, I thought I bought 4 sets of silverware, or like a 5 set of silverware because it was 2 forks, 2 spoons, and a knife. He opens his drawer, empty except for 2 forks, 2 spoons, and 1 knife, just sitting perfectly aligned in the drawer.
I just like to imagine that he has like a velvety cutout. So it's like it's gold trimmed around the inside. It's like these are the good spoons.
Wait, do you have that? Like at your house, do you have multiple sets of silverware?
Yeah.
Like-
I hate that.
Yeah. No, but then you have the good ones.
The good ones. Everyone has their own preference. Though.
Yeah. No, because the ones I like doing, like we have our good set, and whenever I'm unloading the dishwasher, like doing the dishes and shit, and I see the bad set of silver that I don't like, I'm like I have to put this shit away in a different drawer, and it fucking pisses me off.
You know what I hate? This is gonna be really specific. Like, we're getting into some really specific talk here. I hate steel spoons. I love like the polished stainless silver. You ever just had like a steel spoon?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Like the ones that it's almost like this was like mass manufactured.
Yeah.
Like a spoon. I feel like if you're putting it in your mouth, you don't want it to like possibly like catch on your tooth and be like,
Yeah, like in the
"Ah."
top and it gets stuck
Yeah.
and it,
Like
can't
it's a
get out.
spoon with like a rough cut around
Yep.
the edge. I hate the ones Dave got it's weird. I'm getting excited over it because it's one of those things where you live with something like spoons in my house have always just been spoons. You have spoons. But then I got these ones from Dave and I'm like, these are high quality spoons. I don't think I could ever go back to old spoons now. It's the weirdest, smallest problem that I'm like a spoon snob now. Like I can't eat from from steel spoons. I have to have like the polished ones.
Can this episode be called the Spoon Snob?
The spoon snob. There's so many S syllables. I'm like tripping over my words.
Your talk good is at a negative.
My talk good's always at a negative, but it's really plummeting hard right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was the timer.
We cut it too soon.
You didn't have to cut that recording. That's
staying in, right?
Yeah, you could end the episode on that.
I think we're gonna. You hear the music? It's getting ready.
It hasn't started yet.
It hasn't started. No,
we got the outro of the show.
Well, no, it starts before we say cue the outro.
Oh yeah, if we say the rest of this really
no, it's already
fast.
queued. It's going. It's going.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Mutual Destruction podcast. I'm Sharif with me, Josh, and that's it. This is over. We're in the outro.
We're done. We're fading out. Goodbye.
Really doing it now, and like the music, I mean, it would have ended by now, but unless the cheese
it's still going.
Is it still going? No, it's not. We ended it where it's supposed to, but we kept a lot more of it in than we should have. That's for sure.
The music's done now. That's just us talking with nothing. That's just
it fades back. It got to the. It got